Welcome to another edition of Arizona Living. Today we're going to talk about renting in Arizona without first having a job. Stay tuned! So Sean 2.0 wrote, I heard that if I wanted to move to Avondale, it would be better to move north side of Avondale because the south part is considered ghetto. How far from Phoenix is Avondale? When renting a place there, with or anywhere, do they do credit checks or what are the stipulations for renting? I heard it's hard to rent in most cities in Arizona coming from another state without a job. Our plan was sort of to find a lovely house we could rent out, pay it up for 6 months plus, at least until we find a job, which wouldn't be long, I think. But do places there let transplants do that? Well, Sean 2.0, thanks for asking your question. Let's take it one piece at a time. So your first question was Avondale. Is the north side better than the south side? Now I lived in Avondale, right, for a couple of years. So I'm not talking out my ass, all right? I actually lived there. I used to smell the poop every morning. And twice a year, they do the stupid NASCAR thing where everyone and their grandmother comes to the city of Avondale and it's hard to get in and out. Okay, so I lived there. I'm not talking out my ass, all right? So listen. The north side of the town of Avondale is slightly nicer, all right? But I will say, there are really beautiful communities and houses in the south side as well. You're gonna have to look, and I recommend you do what I call a sniff test, okay? Which means you go in the middle of the night, 2 a.m., and you listen. You make sure you feel safe, and you listen. Are there gunshots? Do you hear police sirens? Do you hear neighbors yelling and screaming at each other? Do you have a weird feeling that, something's out of place? Go and check it out for yourself. Make sure you feel safe before you sign that contract, all right? So that's what I would say. Go check it out. In general, yes, the south side's a little rougher than the north side, but I'm not saying the south side's all bad. I lived on the south side, all right? My neighbor was white trash, okay? They were renting white trash, all right? I'm talking drugs, I'm talking teeth missing. You get the picture, all right? Like the kind of people I'm not gonna get into it because then I'm gonna get hate, but it's luck of the draw too in terms of who your neighbors are. But in general, I would say do your research, go there in person, all right? Or find someone you trust to do a little bit of research for you. Now, how far is Avondale from Phoenix? It's about a 25-minute drive. It all depends on traffic. Oh, my glasses are 30. Let me take these off. So if there is traffic, you're looking at anywhere between 45 minutes to 60 minutes, but without traffic, 25 minutes, no problem. Son of a bitch, my glasses off. All right, well, I'm doing this episode without my glasses, all right? So, I got a cleaner, hold on. Here we go, all right. While I'm cleaning my glasses, let's address your question about finding a rental if you don't currently have a job here. This is a question I get a lot. It all depends. It depends on your situation. If you have a lot of money saved up, and it depends on the rental place. For me, this was not an issue because when I initially moved here, I moved in with my brother, and then I moved in with my girlfriend, and then I got a job, and then she already had a house in Avondale, and then we sold that. And in fact, we got a place in Gilbert, an apartment at, what was it called? The Trails at Santan in Gilbert. We rented that out after we sold our house in Avondale. And the reason why we did that is we were waiting for our new house in Gilbert to be finished being built. So we actually lived in an apartment for a while, but it wasn't an issue for me, this whole job situation, because I already had a job in Arizona. Now I've helped people, one friend in particular, relocate to Arizona. I went to the place, they sent her all the paperwork, she signed it, and I sent her videos of the place. She came, bada bing, bada boom, no problem. It was seamless. But what I would recommend to you is you actually create a list of places you want to go visit. Look on Yelp, okay? Yelp is your friend. Read the reviews. Make sure management are not jerks, okay? Then you're gonna call them and see what their rules are in terms of you having a job already when you move here. Some places will probably be willing to work with you. If you currently have a job over wherever it is you live now, and you can send them proof that you have a job, maybe that'll suffice, But you got to do a little bit of legwork here, you know? You're going to have to make some phone calls. You can actually talk to people, not just send emails. You know what I mean? So you have to do some research. Pick up the damn phone. Make some phone calls. See if they're willing to work with you. Your other question about, it wasn't really a question, but in terms of finding a job here, start now. Don't wait till you move over here and then say, I can't find a job. It's taking too long. Do your freaking resume now. Wherever you live, post it up on the job boards. Post it up on Monster and Indeed. Set up what I call nets every Sunday. Apply for the jobs that come up that you qualify for. And call some recruiters. Get them starting working for you before you move here, because it could take you potentially 3 to 4 months to find a job when you move here. You're going to want to do as much as you can while you're at where you're at, and set a date. I will be moving to Phoenix on X date. Set it in stone, and actually do it if that's what you want to do. I actually wrote an ebook all about the process to find a job. And again, I'm not talking out my ass. I've had over 20 jobs in my career, 20, okay? I've had well over 100 interviews, and I kept track of my stats, not for nothing. I do pretty good in terms of interviewing. But I wrote an ebook. I'll post a link or whatever, a picture of it here. And you can do it, if this is really what you want to do. You want to relocate to the Phoenix Valley, Avondale, whatever, you can do it. You just have to make sure you take the steps necessary. I made a whole video on the 7 steps needed to relocate. I'll post a link to that right here. Now let's go back to your thing about if places will allow you to rent, let's call them right now. I'm going to call them right freaking now. Let's see if they'll let you do it. All right, well, I'm going to go and call the Trails at Santan right now. I am not messing around here. Let's give them a call and find out what their rule is about having a job in advance.
Thank you for calling Trails at Santan. We value your time and will be with you promptly. This call may be recorded for quality assurance.
That's the number right there.
If you are interested in learning more about renting one of our beautiful homes, press 1. If you are a resident
Oh, is this gonna get me copyrighted? Son of a Oh, here we go.
Thank you for calling Trails at Santan. This is Aaron speaking. How can I help you today?
Good morning, Aaron. My name is Sam. I'm calling because a friend asked me to check to see if, since they live out of state and they don't currently have a job in Arizona, what's the process, for getting an apartment?
Right. Well, I can definitely look into what we'd have available here and go over some of that with you. You were saying that did they have like a job offer for when they're going to be moving here, or is this something that...
Well, they don't currently have a job offer, but is that what's necessary? They need to have a job offer prior to you guys accepting them?
Usually we require that they are able to prove that they can earn at least 2.5 times the monthly rent. Usually we do that with pay stubs, things like that. We can also sometimes use bank statements, that sort of thing as well. But that's one of the main requirements we have for renting a home for that.
Now, would the job have to be in Arizona, or could it be where they currently live?
I suppose it could be out of state for that, as long as they're still able to prove that they're still making that amount.
Got it.
I'm not really sure how that would be done if they're working out of state. If they're traveling, then that may be something, but if they're not able to still prove that they're making that amount, I wouldn't really know.
Got it. Okay, great. Well, thank you so much.
Oh, no problem. Was there anything else you wanted me to go over?
Nope, that was it.
All right. Well, thank you very much for calling Trails of Santan. We do appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a good day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
You heard that, guys. So, basically, you have to prove that you're employed or you have a letter, and they want to know you make at least 2.5 times whatever the rent is. So let's just say the rent is $1,000 a month. You got to make sure you're making at least $2,500 a month with your job. Now, here's the cool thing. I read between the lines a little bit over there. You could say you're still working there, because a lot of jobs now are virtual. You could technically work for a company in California, but physically be in Arizona. And I didn't say that. I'm not an attorney. Don't be getting me in trouble. All I'm saying is there's ways around it, all right? Ideally, you should have a letter of commitment from a new employer that you'll be physically working in Arizona, but there's ways around it, if you see what I'm saying. So that concludes another edition of Arizona Living. Be sure to like, subscribe, let me know below. What questions do you have for me regarding moving or living in Arizona? Till next time!